Well, the only tick we get in terms of nutrition in Australia is we're pretty good with our protein levels. But the latest stats from the ABS show that 1 in 3 Aussies do not meet their requirements for magnesium. I wonder if you're the other 2 in 3. Well, our resident nutritionist, Sarah De Lorenzo, is back with us to discuss this deficiency and maybe also share some great tips on how to ensure we're reaching our daily goals. Sarah, lovely to have you back with us.
Hi, Ed. Thanks for having me.
I called it magnificent magnesium. It really is a wonderful thing. Tell us exactly what it is and why is it so important in our bodies?
Well, magnesium is an essential mineral that the body actually doesn't produce, so we require it from our diet. Magnesium is important to over 300 biochemical reactions within the body: blood sugar levels, blood pressure, production of energy, breaking down carbohydrate, protein, fat, the bones and teeth, to cope with stress, muscle cramps, calcium in tooth enamel, your immune system. There are so many reasons why your regular magnesium intake is important.
This is a long list, Sarah.
It is a long list, I know.
We do not want to be deficient in this. So where do we source magnesium from?
Well, there's some great foods. Look, I always tell my patients when they think, I try and make things really easy for my patients, and I always say, just try and think green. So it's all your leafy greens and green vegetables are the biggest sources, but also meat, fish, dairy, almonds, cashews, parsnips, figs, legumes, potatoes, but it's mainly nuts and seeds, and avocado, of course, banana, but the biggest thing is green. So when you think magnesium, just think what's green.
Okay, well, that's an easy one to do. Now, what are some of the signs and symptoms of deficiency in magnesium?
Well, the biggest thing, look, there's a lot of them, but the thing is thigh cramps, calf cramps. I don't know if you've ever seen someone or had yourself even a twitching eye, a rapid heart rate, arrhythmias, convulsions, confusion, poor concentration, cramps, nervousness, loss of appetite, weakness. There are a lot of the things to look for as signs of deficiency.
Oh, my goodness. Again, that's a massive list. I love the little twitchy eye one. I sometimes get that and just think, oh, gosh, I'm just having like an epileptic fit. But no, indeed, it's possibly just a lower dose of magnesium. So I assume we can't store it within us anywhere. We need to keep topping it up daily or weekly, right?
No, we don't. Like magnesium is about 27% would be stored in muscle, 19% is approximate for soft tissue, and 53% of magnesium is stored in the bone. But the big thing about is what actually depletes us of magnesium. Yeah. So going forward with that, the biggest thing with magnesium depletion is the Western diet, and the Western diet, if you think of it, it's actually what I call a beige diet, but it's alcohol, sugar, stress, other things like medications, diuretics, HRT, corticosteroids, oral contraceptive pill. They all actually deplete us of magnesium.
Oh,
and you
can
think about, yes.
So we're talking about sort of leaching it out of our system where we might have those stores, as you say, in bones and so on. Yes. This will actually just deplete our supplies. Okay. Now, what starts to happen when our magnesium levels start to get to dangerous low levels? What do we expect to see? Well,
I mean, look, a lot of diseases, like and this is the whole thing about when it comes to, and this is why magnesium is just so important, because really low magnesium is linked to arthritis, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, hypertension, metabolic syndrome, and obesity. They're all linked to low magnesium levels, and so that's sort of at the severe end of it. And the biggest thing is this other, which I just find mind-boggling, is that there is a statistic that 2/3 of sudden cardiac deaths are due to arrhythmias. Arrhythmia, which is an irregular heartbeat, is actually from magnesium deficiency. So magnesium really protects the heart.
Wow, okay. By the way, in your clients, do we see a difference in magnesium requirements between men and women maybe, or different age groups?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it depends on, with all of my clients, I will always put on magnesium pretty much to start them off, but men generally need about 400 milligrams a day, women are early 300s, but so much of it is individualised on people's lifestyles, their diet, whether or not they have alcohol, what how much exercise they do, if they're on medications. A lot of that would depend. But I can move it up to, definitely a little bit more depending if they're not compensating in other areas.
Now, I've spoken before with our pharmacist Gerald Quigley about topping up our magnesium levels on our House of Wellness TV show. You can top it up, and he said once you reach a certain point, beyond kind of 100%, I think he puts it rather eloquently, you'll notice a certain looseness.
Yeah, so look, toxicity of magnesium is diarrhea.
Right.
So, yeah. So
looseness. Need we say more?
That's a very polite way of putting it is. Yes.
Is it toxic, though, if you try and top up your tank, to the maximum?
Well, I think anyone who has diarrhea doesn't want to.
True.
They don't want to have it. So if they have that education and understand that that's the consequence of magnesium toxicity, most people will pull it back. Definitely, okay. I've noticed clinically.
Alrighty. Now, how do we know if we are actually deficient? Will it show up in a blood test or something, or do we just go for one of that massive list of signs and symptoms?
You just look at signs and symptoms, and generally, the problem that we have, though, and this is one thing, is they don't really test for hypomagnesemia. It's not frequently looked at, and this is one thing I'll just touch on now is with women, menopausal women. So women actually lose a lot of magnesium through menopause, and then they freak out about lack of calcium. And calcium and magnesium they need to work hand in hand to get the results. Yeah. And then with osteoporosis, where people are actually overprescribed calcium, and the calcium is not in balance with the magnesium, and it's actually been shown. Research has actually shown that. To help with osteoporosis, you actually supplement with magnesium. It's interesting.
Okay, well, let me ask you, so there are other certain foods perhaps in our diet, if we're taking them and also trying to take our magnesium, but they might actually hinder the absorption of the magnesium?
Sugar. And I can tell you right now, sugar actually blocks the absorption of magnesium. Ed, have you ever had a chocolate craving? Everyone's had a chocolate craving, I'm sure.
I'm reluctantly raising my hand, yes.
Yeah, okay. So basically, mineral deficiency is the underlying cause of sugar cravings. So anything, and if you think, that goes back to the Western diet and all of the hidden sugars that we have in all of those packaged foods that people tend to eat. They're full of the sugar, and basically the thing about magnesium is, when you crave chocolate, chocolate's actually a magnesium-rich food. So that's sort of your body working in a way to get some magnesium through those cravings. But it's actually the dark chocolate, not the white chocolate the milk chocolate.
Sarah, we're trying to be good. We're trying hard. Tell us, anything green is the key to get us lots of magnesium. However, what do you think about magnesium supplements too as a little top-up? Or some powder or tablets?
Definitely. Yeah. Look, I say that, for my clients that go out there, they enjoy their red wine and they might have a high sugar diet. I always tell people to definitely supplement, especially around times of drinking. But I think, a little bit of magnesium every day. If you're not eating a really high, rich diet full of magnesium and you're not having the leafy greens, at least 2 to 3 cups of leafy greens and veg a day, then a supplement top-up is definitely, I highly recommend it. But the other good thing about magnesium is it helps you sleep and really good for relaxation. I call it nature's chill pill. That's my nickname for it. It's nature's chill pill.
I love that. Magnificent magnesium, just chill. Magnesium and chill. That's what they say. That's what the kids say. Hey, for our little ones who may be fussy eaters, with the exception of yours, and not getting enough greens, are they not a bad idea to give them some sort of magnesium top-up?
I would definitely give them, look, you can even go down to, for a child under 12 months old, you could do 75 milligrams of magnesium as a topper if you wanted to. And it just sort of like children between 4 and 8, around 130 milligrams. And for the teenagers that just want to eat the rubbishy, refined diet, you can look at about 400-ish milligrams a day for all the growth. Yeah, so you can supplement if they're really fussy eaters and they just won't have any greens or nuts or seeds.
We don't want our teenagers staying in bed any longer, though. I just caution you with that one.
I've got one of those.
Yeah, true. Sarah, your wonderful website, sdlmethod.com, to connect with you, and love our Friday catch-ups. Thanks for that.
Thanks for having me, Ed.
Magnesium, it truly is magnificent, and you can chill.